Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. Um, yeah, this is Kadri Talks Football, and I've been meaning to do this one for a while now. I love football, and I just want to get it all out of my system every week, put it on the internet, and hopefully get some support for it. So yeah, so like I said, I love football and I'm always arguing football with my friends, which I hope to bring on to this channel every once in a while. So you can see how chaotic it is when I argue football with them. They don't know ball. But yeah, I'll be covering as much as I can. I'm just going to try and make it as fun as I can. And yeah, to be fair, I'm just freestyling today. What I'm going to do today is I'll just give a summary of how the season has been going, predictions, best players here and there, who to look out for, how the season would possibly end. That is my aim for today as the first video. So before we get into all of that, please, it's a new channel, so subscribe, like, and leave some comments. Drop your opinions that might be different to mine. Friendly debates. I know it's football, opinions will always differ, so be always I'm open to suggestions on what type of videos to make next, because this is off my head. Like there is basically no plan or specific direction at the moment, but I'm hoping to hear some suggestions from you guys in the comments. And you can also get involved in the videos. So let's get straight into the video. The table right now looks very chaotic, which is not too bad. It's breeding drama, will I say. So as well, I'll just go through the top 10. I'm going through the top 10. Usually no one goes through the top 10, but to fit in some clubs, we have to go through the top 10. So right now, Liverpool is first, Man City is second, Arsenal is third, Villa is fourth, Spurs are fifth, West Ham, Brighton, United, Chelsea, Newcastle. At the start of the season, my friends and I did some predictions, and no one predicted the table to look like this. Liverpool are, I've been seeing some things online. People have been saying Liverpool are currently overachieving. Are they though? They had a one-off season, and now they are back to what we all know them to be. Sometimes they look shaky. That's why I understand when people ask the question, can they be sustainable? As far as I've known Klopp, he's never controlled games. He's never looked like he's going to dominate the team. So this is what Klopp is known for. People are getting blindsided by how Arteta and Pep play ball, and they think Klopp will do that. Klopp has never been that guy to control games. He pounces on mistakes from teams. So are they sustainable? I very much believe so. Their backline of Van Dijk, Konate, and Alisson, unbeatable. Currently have considered the least goals in the league, and they have scored the second most goals in the league. I don't know what more you want from this team, but I'll get into my prediction as to how the season will end. I'm just giving my top six. If your team doesn't make it, I'm sorry. It's an opinion-based sport, so you can also give me your own opinion. But so I'll start from bottom up. So I'll start from who I believe would finish sixth. There's a lot of teams just around that sixth position that could finish sixth. Newcastle, once all their players get back, I don't believe injuries. It should be an excuse for how Newcastle are performing right now. They've lost 4 matches in a row, and that is inexcusable. But people tend to use excuses as a reason for their performance this season. I'm not believing that, but they're still good enough to compete. So I believe they'll be in and around that sixth position, but I don't believe they'll get into the top six. Their performances this season have been abysmal. They don't make it into my top six. Then there's Chelsea, United, Brighton, and West Ham around those positions. All four teams I just mentioned are very inconsistent. You don't know what Chelsea you're going to get. You don't know what Brighton you're going to get. You don't know what West Ham you're going to get. The only thing that is consistent there is United. You know they are going to be shit. It's just sometimes they know how to win when they are shit. That is the what I would say the dilemma is with United. But because of that, United makes it up to sixth for me because they know how to win regardless of how shit they are. Bruno, Rashford can just come up with magic at any time and boom, 3 points. That's how they've been able to beat eight. Based on performances, this season United should even be in the top 10. But they're still there, not too far off. So I believe United would edge it and finish sixth. I believe Aston Villa will finish as fifth. Now they are playing really well. Big ups to Emery. I am a big fan. Always been a big fan of Emery. What he's done with Spanish teams, the Sevillas, the Villarreal. He had that spell with Arsenal, which people tend to hate on, which I believe he did well with what he had. But well, he's doing the same. He's doing an amazing job with Aston Villa. You look at Aston Villa now and you think, is Gerrard even a good manager? I'm a big fan of Gerrard, so it kind of hurts me to say that. But at the end of the day, Aston Villa they're just not ready yet. I know Newcastle surprised us last season. I mean, into the top four, and that could be Aston Villa this season. But I'm basically probably being biased to the big teams and saying they've been there, they know how to do it better than Aston Villa. So I will just put them as fifth. Will still be an amazing season for them anyway. And because of my big club bias, I'm putting Tottenham as fourth. Why am I even calling them a big club? These guys haven't won anything. I can't remember Tottenham celebrating anything. So this idea of them being a big club, I don't know. But they've been to Champions League finals. They've been going to Champions League for back to back seasons. They always tend to be in Europe, and because of that, they are experts at that. Like the expectation for the club are higher. So that is always going to be a push. That is what sets apart what we call a big team and a small team. The teams that experience they play in different competitions, and the teams that are fine with finishing anywhere above where they predicted to finish at the start of the season. So I believe Tottenham will get into the top four. and is doing a really good job. Son is crazily good. Kulusevski played in the 10. When Madison comes back and goes into the 10, and then the team. And he's a very good manager and he's been doing well. But they've just not got enough to push them into the top three, but good enough to get into the top four. This is just my prediction. It could go wrong. I did not predict Tottenham in my top six at the start of the season, so yeah. But we're here now, 21 games into the season, and I believe they've got what it takes to finish in the top four. Now for the big three. Big three? I'm possibly hyping up Arsenal too much. Their fans have been getting too loud, way too loud. But rightfully so anyway. Arteta is doing a good job. The players are really good, regardless of the bottling that people claim they do, which yeah they did bottle, but we cannot deny that they are playing good football. Like I mentioned earlier about the whole club situation, Arteta is the complete opposite. He wants to dominate, he wants to hold the ball, and I guess that is why people think they're defensively good, because that to me is not really factual. Arsenal are a really, really good team. They dominate you, they keep the ball, but once the opposition has the ball, they will threaten them. And we've seen it time and time again this season. Look at the goal. I mean, their goals considered isn't much, obviously. A really good team. But you can just see that their defensive unit isn't as good as they claim it is. Them being in possession, them always having the ball is why teams do not create chances against them. But when the team has the ball, they will create chances against them. Saliba, Gabriel, really good players, but they are not as good as Arsenal fans are making them to be. I'm going to get a lot of hate from Arsenal fans, but it's the truth. Their abilities on the ball, Saliba's ability on the ball, crazy good. Then they have right in front of them the ability of the Arsenal squad on the ball, knowing how to protect it, knowing how to the right angles of passes to make sure that they never lose the ball is why they go games without conceding little to no chances in the whole game. But unfortunately, I do not believe that that is sustainable. A team, the opposition team will always have the ball, and how do you defend in those moments? Well, let's see how Arsenal does that for the rest of the season. I believe they will finish in third, which is not bad considering Arteta is going up against the two of the best managers we've seen in a while. Talking about two of the best managers that we've seen in a while. I believe Pep and Klopp are not too far apart. I mean, Pep has been lucky to manage in clubs that have given him financial backing. Every time he's needed someone, he's gotten them. Klopp, not so much. Will Klopp win as much as Pep has won in these teams? I don't know. I have no idea. Klopp would win enough, but would he have won as much as Pep? I don't believe there's any manager in the world that would have won as much as Pep. Will Pep do as well as Klopp has done in a team that has been stingy with their spendings? I don't believe so either. So the gap to me isn't that much far apart, but I respect and I just Pep is the best. You watch the games against his team and you just wonder you try to figure out what can you do against them. You can't do anything against them, and their treble last season is proof that his second treble as a manager. And that for me is why, well, one of the reasons why I believe Man City will finish as first and Liverpool as second. But not just that, the point difference right now is 5 points at the time of me shooting this video. With Man City having a game in hand, which could reduce to 2 points. That 2 points gap could be bridged easily by the return of Kevin De Bruyne, who I think is arguably the best player in the league, up there with Salah, of course. But his return is going to be very crucial in this running. We've seen City go 14, 15 games, win runs, just when they really need that. And it's scary for any team that is trying to compete with them. Who has got the mental abilities, the mental strength to keep up with these monsters? Hopefully they tire out, because I hate the fact that the Premier League is turning into a farmers league, one team dominating. I am not a fan of that. So hopefully they tire out and we get to see new winners. But as it stands, as long as Kevin De Bruyne and Pep are still breathing in England, I believe Man City will win the league. So that is my top 6 prediction. I will go into best players, highest goal scorers, highest assists, because that is very tight also. Young player of the year, just the basic awards. So for who I think will be the best, I would go through the best, who I think have been the best players so far this season. We have the obvious guy, Haaland, who scores for fun. I don't care about. I'm not a fan of people saying you don't look good on the ball. He scores tap-ins. That is a striker. We've seen people play at Man City, strikers that we rate so highly play at Man City, and they haven't scored as much as he does. It's not luck. It is good striking abilities, good positioning, good speed, strength, everything. He's been injured for a while now. When he comes back, also will be crucial in the title race. But he's been injured for a while, which is why people might not put his name up there. But I cannot rule him out, because when he comes back, he will be very crucial. I am very sure of that, and he's still the highest goal scorer at the moment in the league. So I've got Haaland. I've got Van Dijk, who's returned to his absolute best. That guy is a beast. He's one of those guys, even for guys that play football that are watching this, you ever see those centre backs, or not even centre backs, that those with certain players you play against that you just think, I'm just going to try and avoid him all through the game because I can't be asked. I mean, I might be able, like me, I'm a dribbler. I look at people and I'm like, I'm going to try and take him on. In fact, I'm not going to take anyone on. But then again, you meet some people and you're like, I mean, I might be able to complete this take on, but should I even, why even bother? Why stress? I'll just go through another route. Van Dijk is that guy. You're just like, there's no point. Let me just take another route. Let me just find another way. And he's so good. He is so good. Haven't been dribbled past this season. Never puts a foot wrong. For me, the best long range passer in the league. And I'm not talking. Okay, that's arguable. We've got Trent. We've got Kevin De Bruyne. But when you're talking about switching from one wing to the other, he's so good. And it's even not in his favor that he plays on the left side of the centre back pairing and he uses his right foot, which means for every pass he tries to make, he has to adjust his body, and he does that so effortlessly. You see them, the likes of Pep and Arteta making sure that a left-footed centre back is on the left, a left-footed player is on the left centre back position, so they can pass easily without stressing. Van Dijk does that so easily. Back is absolutely best. The reason why Liverpool are currently first in the table. It's going to sound like there's a lot of bias, and if you haven't noticed already, I am a Liverpool fan. I'm trying not to be biased. I'm a changed person. I'm no longer that biased person that always says everything in favor of his club. But I'll be honest anyway. 3 Liverpool players have impressed me this season, and I believe we should be in the running for best player of the season. Van Dijk is one of them, as I've mentioned. Trent Alexander-Arnold, who has made the club his own. You think of Liverpool, you're thinking of Trent. He is the embodiment of Liverpool right now. He is taking control of the club. He's one of those special players. I'm trying to think of people that have done that in the past that has just made you go like the way Gerrard came in and just made Liverpool his own. The way David Silva, when he came to Man City and made Man City his own. Yaya Toure had that period where he made Man City his own. Like, you see these players where everything they do, they never put a foot wrong. And people are going to say he can't defend. That is the most tired and laziest narrative ever. Trent got dribbled in his first ever senior career season in Premier League by Rashford, and Rashford did it twice against him and scored 2 goals, and everyone just went on with the brain dead idea that Trent can't defend. Everything, and I will always say this and I will stand by it. Everything that Trent goes through in match, every fullback goes through that, but only one person's mistakes are highlighted. But anyway, you can argue all you want. Trent is one of the best players, if not even the best player in the league right now. Yes, I said it. And for me, should be up there in the running for best player of the season. Now we've got Salah. That guy is unstoppable. You think of someone, a force, just no matter the situation, he could be dead. You could shoot this man, he could be laying down on the floor and he's going to leave the pitch with something. That for me is a world-class player. People that you don't need to be at your absolute best. You just know that forever you will be a threat. No, the fact Salah being in a starting 11 is enough to change your tactic. It's enough to put fear in your defenders. It's enough to know that we cannot go with our original game plan because Salah is just going to appear out of nowhere. And that guy has the most goals in the season and most assists. You cannot. He's unstoppable. He's a force. So those are the 3 Liverpool players for me. Then we've got Haaland from Man City, and I'll put 3 more people that I think have been good enough to be good enough as a player of the season. I've got Saliba at Arsenal, who's been a very good, undeniably good defender, very composed on the ball, very confident, never dives into tackles, which I rate so much for centre backs. You only dive into tackles when you made mistake and you need to cover up for that mistake. he would always put you in a position where you just can't do anything. Very good centre back, very good on the ball, like I said. Um, I've got Son. Everything good about Tottenham right now is happening because of Son. Uh, he might not look aesthetically, he might not look as good as he used to look, but you can still see him. He's a hard worker, always running. He's now that he's the captain of Spurs, he has embodied that character, that leadership role, and he's showing everyone the pitch. And my final player of the season, or that should be in the player of the season contender, is Rice. 120 million, I guess, for a central midfielder, and no one is even mentioning his price tag. That's all there is to it. I try to hate on him. I try to look for mistakes from him. He does make mistakes here and there, but who doesn't? That's the same thing I use for Trent. So why should I slate someone for making every mistake here and there? He is good. He brings control to the team. He brings assurance to his midfielders. Like, go and do your thing. I'll protect you. He does. He makes his centre backs feel confident. It's like it's not two centre backs we have. It's three centre backs we have. It's not two midfielders we have. It's three midfielders we have. He does the job perfectly. And I've been a big fan of Rice since West Ham. I used to argue with my friends about him when he was just coming up, when he was playing as a centre back for West Ham, and I'm just I'm glad he's doing really well, and he's going to be up there. His name should be thrown around for player of the season. Oh yeah, one more person actually. Talking about defensive midfielders, Rodri. That guy is so good. Man City's lost his champion because of his absence. You, yeah, is there any one player that affects their team that much? I'm not saying he's the best player in the world. I mean he's special, but I'm not saying he's that mad good. But think about it. Man City would win without De Bruyne, no matter how good De Bruyne is. Liverpool have been winning without Salah, no matter how good Salah has been. Trent, Van Dijk, and the likes. But Rodri, he's out of the team, and there is chaos for City. That guy is, for me, should be in the running. So, yeah, who do I think would win the PFA? I think it's going to be a hat trick for Salah. As long as he ends up with the Golden Boot and the Playmaker Award, I don't see anyone stopping him from winning it, and it's going to be his third PFA Player of the Year, especially if Liverpool wins the league. I would like it to be. I personally would like it to be Trent, who I think has been the best player in the league. But Salah undoubtedly also deserves to be there, and if he finishes with the Golden Boot and Playmaker Award, he would be unstoppable. It would be very hard to give anyone else that award. Talking about Golden Boots, who do I think will finish with the Golden Boots? Realistically, it should be Haaland. I'm not even going to talk too much about that. I would like it to be Salah, of course. Liverpool bias, but as long as if Haaland comes back 2 games until the end of the season, I feel like he's going to score 10 goals in those 2 games. That's just how good he is. That's how much I respect him as a striker. So Golden Boot should be to Haaland. The Playmaker Award, this one is very tough. There's not been too many creative geniuses this season. We've got Salah, who has created the most big chances in the league, and also leads the assist record. But you know what? I don't want to blame Salah because he's created the most big chances, and his assist number should be way much higher than it is. But he's not really got the best finishers ahead of him in his team. But if he does continue with this form, I don't see why he shouldn't finish with the most assists in the season. We've got Neto also, who I watched the game yesterday against Brighton, and he looks to pass more than he looks to shoot. That is, I mean, for your team, he is good. He's someone that is always there trying to create the best chance and not just shooting half shots. So yeah, I believe Salah will finish with the Playmaker Award for the season. Best manager, I believe, will be Pep. Young player of the season, I believe, should be Saka, or if they're going to ignore Saka because they have given him already, I would give it to Garnacho. That boy is so good. He is. There are certain players where they're not greedy; they're just too confident in themselves. I saw it with Ronaldo. I saw it with Salah. I saw it with Mane. Uh, like it's people say Garnacho is greedy. He plays for himself. I just believe the boy is confident, and right now that confidence is paying off. He is a very good player, very good player, and United are lucky to have him. He's one of the reasons why we still have them in conversations about them finishing in an European spot, but we'll see. So, my apart from the obvious Saka, who's not even been that great this season, but he's also not been bad. He's still very good. He's turning into one of those inevitable players where no matter how shitty a game goes, he will give you a goal or an assist. And yeah, but I believe Garnacho should be ideally, if we're looking at just performances of a young star, Garnacho should be there in the running for Young Player of the Season. So yeah, that would bring me to the end of my first video on this channel, Kadri Talks Football. There should be more, as long as all things are right. There should be more videos coming in, more people coming in to have discussions instead of me just chatting on and on with no opposition. Like right now, whatever I say goes. Trent is the best player, like it or not. But I'm sure if I had any of my friends over or any guests, they would, they would have been strangling me. So I'm going to try and have more people come on the channel and more discussions, and try and make it more interesting. And also suggestions from you guys would be much appreciated. This should be a fun journey for me. I love football so much, so I will keep on doing this regardless of the support I get, just because of how much I love football. But notwithstanding, please like, please share, subscribe, comment, do all of that, and I will be in your faces more and more